Hello, everyone. I welcome you back again to our math journey. And in this journey, the goal is to make math enjoyable and very easy. Yes, that's the goal. And I hope you're enjoying that so far. Please, if this is your first time coming in contact with our channel, Tutoring Made Easy, please do us a favor by subscribing, liking this video, and sharing it to as many people as possible. Also, feel free to put in a comment section math topics that you would like us to do a video on. All right, but today we're going to look at quadratic equations. We're going to look at quadratic equations, and we are coming from where? Where are we coming from? Remember, we spoke about equations. We talked about equations, and we said equations are expressions that have equal to sign in there. So if there's an expression without an equal to sign in it, then we know it's just an expression. It's just an expression. But we're coming from equations, and we said that the first category was linear equations. Linear equations. So it means it's supposed to have an equal to sign in it. So let's say y equals a plus bx. This tells us that this is a linear equation, especially with this x. The power here is only one, so that makes it a linear equation. Imagine for a second that imagine that it was a plus bx. This is just going to be a linear expression. It's just a linear expression and not a linear equation. It's a linear expression. Why? Because it doesn't have because there's no equal to sign. There's no equal to sign in it. In it. This is an expression known as there exists. This one here. It's a math sign that says there exists. So there exists no equal to sign in it. But if it's a linear equation, there should also be an equal to sign in there. And we also talked about the second category, which is a polynomial, and it's under this polynomial where quadratic equations fall. We said that we have a quadratic will fall under that. Quadratic equation will fall under that. All right. So that's where we are coming from. That's where we are coming from in terms of what quadratic equation. So a quadratic equation is a polynomial. A quadratic equation is a polynomial, and usually they are of the form. Usually they are of the form. Usually, right, of the form. All right. Let's say a. Sorry, let me change the color. Let's say let me use green. Let's say ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is what makes it what? This equal to sign makes it what? An equation and not an expression. Now, why do we say this is a quadratic equation? It's because of this guy here, because of this squared here, the squared on the x. That gives us a sign that's a quadratic. Just like also we have the coefficient here being 1, the exponent or the power here is 1. That makes it what? A linear equation. Power is 1. Here the power is 2. That makes it what? A quadratic equation. Also, we can write a quadratic equation of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Because of this equal to sign, it is a quadratic equation. Now, can anyone tell me, if imagine for a second we have ax squared plus bx plus c for a second, what are we going to call this? What are we going to call this? It's supposed to be a quadratic expression. Does any one of you agree? I think so. It's supposed to be a quadratic what? Expression. A quadratic expression. And the reason for it being a quadratic expression, the reason being a quadratic expression is because there's no equal to sign in there. There's no equal to sign in there. If the equal to sign was present, then we are looking at what a quadratic what equation. I hope we have been able to clarify a lot of things. So let's put this thing down. We're saying that it can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c all equal to 0. So that gives us what? A quadratic what? Equation. A quadratic equation, right? Because the power is 2. Power is 2, right? We'll be able to clarify that. Now, what is this a here called? The a there, the a there is known as the coefficient of x squared. The a there is known as the coefficient of what? X squared, because it's attached to x squared. So it's called the coefficient of x squared, right? The next one, which is this guy here, the b, is also known as the coefficient of x. And then the last one, this one here, the c, is known as the constant coefficient. So you know that, you remember when we were doing linear equations, we only had um, y is equal to bx plus, let's say, c, right? Bx plus c. We had a constant coefficient of x. We had a coefficient of x, and then we also had a constant coefficient, but we didn't have we didn't have this. We didn't have this at the time. So I hope that clarifies a lot of things for us so far. So we are saying that quadratic equation is a polynomial, and it can be written in two forms. Ax squared, it can be written in two forms. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, or it can be written as y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Now we're going to look at the methods. What are some of the methods that are used in solving a quadratic equation? We're going to look at the methods used in solving a quadratic equation. So let's take a look at this. So we're saying methods, right, used to solve, right, to solve quadratic equations, to solve quadratic equations, used to solve quadratic equations. Now, there are three methods actually. So the methods are three. There are three methods. So there exist three methods. There exist three methods used in solving quadratic equations. Now, the first one is usually called the factorization method. It's usually called the factorization method. Factorization method. And then the second one is called we use a formula. Some people call it the almighty formula. As to why they call that, I don't know. But we use what we call the quadratic formula. There's something called the quadratic formula. But in other jurisdictions or in other countries, they use the term almighty. I don't know whether in your country you call it something else. That formula is called something. But if there's a specific name for it, you can leave it in the comment section below. All right. But in places like Africa, specifically Ghana, they use the term almighty, the almighty formula, because people are scared of the formula and how it looks like. We'll get there. I don't know your perception about that. When we get there, whether it really justifies the name, it deserves the name almighty formula. We'll find out. But the third method is called the completing of squares. Completing of squares. The completing of squares method. So there you have it. Three methods used to solve quadratic equations. The first one is the factorization method. The second one right there, the second one is the quadratic formula or the almighty formula. And then the last one is known as the completing of squares method. Next time when we come back, we're going to take them one by one, and then we go into the nitty-gritty of solving quadratic equations. But if it is your first time, or you've been coming to our channel, please do us a favor to subscribe to our channel so we can grow our channel together. You're now part of the family. embarking on this math journey. So subscribe, and I also want you to like this video and to share it out to as many people as possible. Also, feel free to leave in the comment section if you have specific math topics that you want us to do videos on. All right, I'll come to you another time. Take care and bye.